This is Gary here. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration on the storage system here in the RV. I'm over here in McDill right now. Basically, when you're living in the RV and you've already cleaned the tanks and everything and you're just living on a daily basis, you're going to keep your black tank closed. That's for your refuge that's going to go from your toilet into that tank. The white water and the gray water ones, these two are going to stay open. That means when you're using the sink, of that nature, all the water is going to flow down through the storage system and go down into the receptacle, whatever RV park you're in. As far as the black water goes, it's going to stay in your tank until you're ready to clean it. I usually do it about every 2 weeks. So when you get ready to clean the tank, basically about 2 days before you decide to do it, whatever kind of schedule you're going to use, you usually push in the white water and the gray water tanks, and you let them fill up with a couple showers for a couple of days. And the reason you do that is when you clean the black water tank, at the very end you want to open those up and you want to kind of rinse out your tube a little bit so you don't get that smell from the toilet refuge, okay? So basically the way this works is when you get ready to do the tank, what you're going to do is you're going to come over here. I'm going to leave this Y adapter. I have a green hose on one end, and I have the water hose that comes from the city on the other end of this little gadget here that you connect to the faucet wherever you're at. So what I do when I get ready to clean the RV black water, I turn on the green hose here so that it lets water come into the system, and at the same time what I do is I come over here and I pull the black water tank. I open it up from where it was closed. It's going to start letting the flow of your refuge go down the tube, and also what's going to happen is that green hose that I'm going to also leave you, the garden hose, and what it's going to do, it's going to kind of cycle through the pipes, and it has little fans, and it kind of rinses off the tubes, etc., etc. So what I do is I leave that running, usually for about 30 minutes or so, and I let it run so it kind of drains all the bad water down into the refuge of the sewer, and it also kind of cleans your tanks. Every so often what I'll do, but don't forget if you do this, I push in the black water one like this, and I give it about 30 seconds, and I let some of the hose water fill into there, and what it does is it helps to kind of force the flush a little bit. So sometimes when you look at the receptacles inside where it says what the indicators, they don't read accurately. They don't do in any RV, because sometimes toilet paper gets caught on those little sensors, so they're never really accurate. So you can't really use the sensors in any RV to know what your sewer tank, how full it is or not. It's kind of just by either a schedule that you use, or if they said you're using the toilet and it seems to be filling up where it's not draining anymore, you'll know, oops, we forgot to do the black water, we need to take care of it. So what happens then is I usually leave this for about 30 seconds, and then I pull it again, and it helps kind of force flush a little bit more of the refuge out of the tank. You don't have to do that, but it's just the kind of standard thing that I tend to do. And again, I let this run for about 30 minutes or so, and it'll clear out all the debris out of your black water tank. Then at the very end, which I'm not going to do now because I'm actually in the process of cleaning it right at the moment, when you're all done and you're ready to say, okay, 30 minutes, 40 minutes have gone by, I come over here and I go ahead and turn the little gadget here to shut off the green water from flowing into the tank anymore, because I've done that job. And what I do then is I also go ahead then and when I do that, it'll just kind of let the remaining water flow through that's still in the tank a little bit. It's going to kind of trickle through. But all these pipes here, obviously, even though the stuff goes down into the refuge, you still want to kind of flush it. It's kind of like a clean rinse. So at the very end, that water that you've saved for a couple days in your other two tanks, the gray tanks over here, what you're going to do is you're going to pull them, and it's going to kind of reflush it again. It's going to let all the many refuges stuck into the tubes kind of flush down the system as well. So at the very end, once all that's done, and you're looking pretty good, and you say, okay, I got this pretty clean, what you do then at the very end then is just to remember to push your black pipe handle back in, so you're ready to kind of regenerate any refuge for the next period of time that you're going to be using your toilet. And the gray and the white water ones, you just pull them back open and let them just kind of rinse out every day when you're using the sink, etc., like you normally would. So again, one more time, this normally stays pushed in. These two on the left of the black tanks stay open. When you get ready to clean the tank, you're going to go ahead and you're going to turn on the water. The green hose again over here where the wire adapter is by this little gadget here, so it starts running into there. And at the same time, you're going to walk back over to where your stuff is over here, and you're going to pull the black tank open so that it starts depleting all the refuge that you had built up in the tank. Then at the very end, 30 to 40 minutes later, or whatever time you want, you can let this run as long as you want. I mean, the longer you're around, the cleaner it gets, obviously. Then you're going to go back over to there, you're going to shut off the green hose, let the rest of the water drip out of here from your sewerage. Then come back over here, maybe 5-10 minutes later, and pull these other two and let that water flush. So it kind of flushes out the tank, and then you're good for another couple of weeks. All these other gadgets in here, they're really self-explanatory. I never use them. I've never used dry camping. I've never used winterizing or power fill tank or any of this stuff, but it shows very clearly which way you turn the nozzle. So if you were in a place that didn't have city water and you had to fill up your white tank with water and then use it because you have no sewer, it'll show you for dry camping how to turn these little nodules up here. So you would do them just as you would need to, depending on what your situation is.